Good morning, grade 5. Miss, how are you today? Miss, today we will spend on, we will start with lesson 9 from chapter 1, problem solving investigations on page 61. And actually, we will depend on a problem solving strategy to solve problems. We will see how can we depend on the strategies, which is actually consists of four steps to solve out problems. Now, first, I want you to look at this, slide. Actually, these are the steps, but they missed the first step, which is understanding the problem. So, if you notice that if I want to solve any problem, any world life problems, I have first to understand. Okay, then I plan, then I solve, then I check. If you can notice that I can plan by visualize, by sketch, by predict, by read. I can solve by showing my strategies and how do I think. Okay, then I can check how I check if I find out if my, answer or my solution is reasonable or does it make sense. Now look here at this mind map that describes the four steps of solving or of the strategy of a problem solving. Look, how can I solve a problem? What do we need to solve a problem? First, I have to understand. Now, in understand, you can notice that I have two choices or two options to understand them. I should understand the information that the question have. What is the question talking about? Okay, understand numbers, people, process, what are they going to do? Then understand what do we have to do. The question is about what? What do they ask us to do in the question? So this is actually another the second part of understanding. First, understand the information that the question has. Then, understand, the demand or what do the question need us to do. After understanding, we go to plan. Now, actually, plan is the answer of how we will solve the problem. How can we solve it and find out the solution? Okay, what's the process? What's your thinking? What are you going to do? And actually, plan is not only for a problem solving. Plan for everything in your life. You cannot, go forward for one step without planning and thinking about what to do. Now, after a plan, we go to solve. And actually, solve is using what you think, using your plan, and and depending on the operations of math like addition or subtraction or division or multiplication, or maybe order, or maybe compare, or maybe use the place value chart. So I can solve by using these steps. Okay, and after I finish solving, I go to check. I should check if my answer is reasonable or does it make sense or not. Actually, if we are talking about, there are many values, you cannot find an answer for them to be negative. Like, for example, the time or the length or the age, okay, or the, width. I cannot, so if my answer is negative, this for sure, it doesn't make sense. And I have to check and repeat it. And many other problems, maybe I can check by, just substitute in the main problem. Add or subtract or divide or multiply. Okay, this is why or how we check. Now, to apply our strategy of the four steps, let's go to understand and try to solve the first problem. And now, they tell us that Victor had spent $61 on some sandpapers for his model, cards. He bought two packages of the smallest grain sandpaper and spent the rest on the largest grain sandpaper. How many how many packages of the largest grain sandpaper did he buy? So actually, what did you understand from that? That I have many information about that our friend, he spent actually $61 on buying sandpapers. Some of them small, some of them is large, and he actually bought in part of his money some of them. So I want to find out how many packages of the largest grain paper he buy or actually he bought. So as you can see, I understand first the information that I've got in the question, then I understand the question. What do they ask us to do? Okay, what do they need us to do? Then after I understand, I plan. Now I plan to answer, so I plan to use operations. Which operation I will use? Okay, so actually my plan was to go backward. Why? Because I will find out the rest of the money from after he bought the small papers and papers. Then after that I have to divide, miss. Why to divide? Because I have money and I have the price for every one package. So if I divide the whole money by the price of one package, I can find out the number of the packages. Okay, so after I plan what to do, I can go and and solve. Now in start solving, look, and it's written in the book, the smallest size, you can notice it's 1,000th. Okay, now they told us that Victor spent 2 times the smaller size, which costs 20. So he actually 2 times 20 equals $40. So he spent $40 on the smaller or the smallest size of the sandpaper. So I have what he spent, I have the total money. How can I find out the left of the money, what rest from the money? Actually by subtracting. So I subtract the whole money, $61 minus $40 for the price of the smallest sandpaper. So it's $21. Then I say in the question I understand they want to buy 3 packages. He wants to buy from the largest size, which is 11,000, and they told us, or I understand from the table, that each package costs $7. So how can I find out? Actually, I can divide the rest of the money, which is $21, divided by $7, the price of each large size of the sandpaper. Now after I divide, I found it's 3. So actually the solution is 3 packages. How can I check? Because actually, if you can notice, my answer is reasonable. It doesn't have negative sign, and it's reasonable. So the solution is correct. Let's go now to the book and continue what we have started and continue solving the problems in book.